There's a few kind of GCSE drama type moments, you know, kind of like, visual things, but those brief moments aside, yeah. Welcome to the SheerLuxe Team Podcast with me, Charlotte Collins. This week, I'm joined by Georgina, Blaskey, Polly Sayer, and Emma Bigger. Happy New Year, everybody!
Happy New Year.
Welcome back, 3rd of Jan.
Straight in.
It always feels like, I don't know what date would feel like an appropriate date to go back to everything, but the 3rd of Jan, it feels so like new. It's
yeah.
Like, oh, are we doing this on the 3rd? But anyway, we are. We're back.
We are.
But how was everybody's Christmas? Georgina, how was your break?
Yeah, really nice. Really, really nice. Just had a few days with extended family over the kind of key days, which was really nice. And then quite a lot of pottering and sorting and general kind of TV watching, cheese eating, all of that stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back to TV watching. I'm sure everyone's got some recommendations. Polly, how was your break?
Yeah, really lovely. I really like, I know you said you don't like it. I love that period between Christmas and New Year where you just have like so much free time to do all the stuff that you don't usually have time for at the weekends and in the week. So like sorting out your wardrobe, doing some tidying. So now I feel like I'm in a really good space. Like, really hit the ground running, you know?
Good for you.
Thanks, mate.
Oh, nice thing to come back to. Anyway, Emma, how was yours?
Really nice. We just had a big family London Christmas. And then we went to Norfolk for New Year. So got some nice walks on the beach and some nice pub lunches and really, really nice.
We were all complaining about having felt quite delicate on New Year's Day. Do you think it was boozy? No, it's always boozy, isn't it? But I feel like there was something about this year. Everybody's complaining about having been really hungover.
Yeah, I wonder if like maybe it's because last year was still like a bit COVID-y.
Yeah, it was.
Definitely feels like people are more relaxed. But yeah,
I mean, there's no restrictions this year, but
exactly. Yeah, so maybe everyone's just kind of like.
So many people, myself included, had this like ongoing chest infection in December and then just beginning to feel better by Christmas. And I actually missed 2 really big Christmas parties that my friends had. So I was really upset. And it was the week that I wasn't working before Christmas. And I just felt so ill the whole time. And then so it was like, oh my God, it's New Year and I'm fine. And let's start drinking.
Yeah, people were hard done by.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people were making up for
lost time.
Yeah, shortened festivities pre-Christmas.
Right. And what about Christmas prezzies? I took a sneak peek at the questions that had come through for today's podcast, and lots of questions about Christmas presents. What did you get, Emma? What did you get?
So I got some nice jumpers, cashmere jumper, some nice jewellery. Oh, actually, I had to copy your pearl octopus earrings.
Oh, they're good ones.
They're so good.
Which one? I've got 2 pairs. Which one?
So I got 2 pairs.
Okay, did you get both?
I got kind of gold and crystal
cool.
hoopy ones, and then your gorgeous crystally ones,
good,
which I love. They're so good.
I don't know how much I'll wear them pre-November. You know,
No.
January to November. But come party time,
And they're quite heavy. Which
they're like for a long day.
Yeah. So I got those, and then I just got some nice kind of candly things and smelly things. And
Things are always a winner.
I always think when people say it's hard, like that people are hard to buy for, I never quite buy that because smelly things are just like
Literally,
who doesn't want to get a candle for Christmas?
This is what I say to people. Like several people have said to me over Christmas, like, Polly, you're definitely the hardest person to buy for out of everyone I know. I'm like, all I want's a diptyque candle, babes. Just give me that.
I just put it in my Instagram bio. Buy me diptyque candles. I don't want anything else. It's fine. That'll do. That's fine.
I beg.
Polly, what about you? What did you get?
Well, for that reason, I think people tend to buy me like experience-based gifts. So my mum and dad got Matt and me a joint present to do a Japanese cooking course.
Cool.
Which I
Nice.
am actually really excited
That's
for
fun.
because I'm not very good at cooking and I'd like to get better at that in 2023.
You guys have done that before, haven't you?
We've done a Mexican
one,
cooking class, which was really good, and I still remember now they taught me how to like dice an onion really finely, and that's like my
really,
sorry guys, like dice it.
Wow, what will you come back from the Japanese one with? Time will tell.
Just you wait. What did you get?
And you got your Oura ring as well.
Oh
Did you
yes,
talk about
sorry,
that?
I should talk about my Oura ring, which was I think maybe my favourite gift besides the Japanese cooking course. So I don't know if people have heard of the Oura ring, but it's a sort of wellness and fitness tracker. I'm really interested in all the data of kind of like the watches, but I just don't want to wear any of the watches. Like, no offense to anyone that's got one, they're just not really my jam. But then I came across this and I just really love the way it doesn't look like one.
I mean, it's the future, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Like that literally just looks
You'd
like
never know.
a really nice ring.
It just kind of like blends in with the rest of my gold jewellery, and it connects to my phone, and then I just read it every
Can you like shower with it on? Or,
you can.
I
don't tend to.
I'm not sure you're going to rack up that many activity points in the shower. I don't know what you do.
But I'm just wondering, like, do you just put it on, forget it's there, sleep in it, do everything in it?
You're meant to sleep in it. Like, that's actually really important because a big part of it is sleep tracking, because they really believe in like the power of sleep in your general well-being. So it gives you a kind of sleep rating every day of like how many hours you got, whether you're really ready for the day because of the sleep quality you've had. It's really clever. It kind of predicts when you might be getting ill based on your body temperature and stuff, and it sort of tells you to like take it easy, and obviously tracks your activity points and calories and things like that, and and it does your cycle as well, which I'm also really interested in. Just kind of like how you might be feeling at different points in the month depending on like when your period's coming. And
what's it reading? Your body temperature?
It reads your body temperature, your heart rate, that kind of thing.
Makes sense.
But yeah, it's just really clever, and lots of people have asked like, where did you get it in the UK? You can't. Basically, you have to order it from their website, and I did have to pay. Matt had to pay some customs. It's really great. I love it so far. I think I'm going to give it a bit more time, see how, because I feel like I haven't utilised all the functions yet, which is kind of exciting.
You need like a period and a...
Do you become quite obsessed with like looking at your...
this is the thing. I'm gonna be like, oh god, am I just going to become really like obsessed with my stats?
Yeah.
But I'm kind of, I'm here for it. If it's kind of, it's wellness.
Yeah, it's positive.
Hopefully it means that I'm just a bit more like in tune with myself.
Because my stress would be around the sleep thing. Because I feel like if someone tells you you've had a bad night's sleep or the quality, then you automatically feel more tired. Like I just think I would start to bug myself out.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it turns out I'm a really good sleeper. Like over Christmas is a really good time to get it. Actually, it's good and bad. Like I was getting like really good night's sleeps, like optimal 95%. But then obviously activity, the calories burned is quite low. I think on Christmas Day it was like, you've burned 8 calories today.
As it should be.
As it should be, yeah. To and from the fridge, basically. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that actually.
Fun. That's a really good piece of kit.
Yeah, thanks.
Georgina, what did you get?
I've got my new not AirPods, but some wireless headphones, which I've wanted for ages because I do find AirPods uncomfortable, but also I've always had the ones that come with the phone on the string. I'm not that into tech. It's just not been something that's been a kind of priority for me. But then I was like, you know what, I really do just want to be able to kind of zone out from things.
Well, it's the noise cancelling effect that is so, I think, is...
Yeah, you can't have the string on the tube because you just can't hear anything.
And I don't know about the ones you've got, but the AirPods, the noise cancelling is unbelievable. Like,
they're really good,
cancels out the tube completely. It's amazing.
So I was just standing in John Lewis, and I think we had like everyone out, but they can't. You're not allowed to try them on, obviously. But it was kind of annoying. So I was like, imagine how squishy is that one? Anyway, we got there in the end, and so far so good.
And so the brand is?
It's called Jabra, Jabra. So they make hearing aids. They make. I think when people are doing those kind of like telecommunications jobs where they're wearing them all day, doing that kind of thing. So it's got a microphone built in, and they're really great. I got a lovely bracelet, which I'm wearing for my kids. And then I just got kind of like smelly bits of makeup. Just the kind of nice Christmas bits that you never buy yourself, do you? And it's always nice to get.
Yeah, so true. I get a Lindt chocolate bunny every year. I'm like, here she is. Actually, no, it's a bear. It's not a bunny. Bunny's furry stuff.
I just realised I didn't have my Terry's chocolate orange this year.
Gutted.
What an oversight. Is it too late?
Definitely
too late. We're in January.
Although I did read a thing in the paper this weekend saying that Easter eggs are hitting the shelves now.
I saw it. They're all over the supermarkets.
I mean, I'm not okay with it.
Yeah, but Easter's like the first week of April. It's not an early Easter. It's a late Easter.
I was going to say, and that's quite a long way away. Even if it was March, it's still a bit punchy to be selling Easter eggs now. Yeah.
It's the cream eggs I'm fussed about. Like,
I hate them.
But they... I
love a cream egg.
I don't like a cream egg either.
They launched a white one. Have you seen that? I know.
But then wasn't there that thing like a few years ago where they were like, if you find a white one, then you win.
It was like a Willy Wonka thing.
Yeah. So actually, I'm quite excited to try one.
Just
to buy
but
one.
now you can't win 100 grand. Now you just have to.
Just to buy like a peasant.
I really want to try one.
What did you get?
What did I? Also bits. I got a few really nice coffee table books, which again I think if you don't know what to buy people,
it's a really good present, and you'd never buy them for yourself.
You would never. I so agree with that. So I got one which I had sent my mother-in-law the link. She was like, I will buy this please. But it's for one of Luke Edward Hall's books, who is an artist and a kind of well, he's an artist, really, isn't he? And a creative, and he's basically running through his properties, which include him and his husband have got a flat in Camden, a property out in Gloucester, and then he's got a studio as well that he works from. So, and it's like lots of just beautiful corners of his various homes and kind of where he does antiquing and how he fills his corners and spaces, and I love all that. So that's lovely. And then I also got actually a great gift. I hadn't seen this before. It's a fat tome with 3 decades worth of Annie Leibowitz's portraits, and it's beautiful, and it's like mostly fashion, but there's kind of various politicians, there's loads of the royal family and the Queen in there as well, and it's like a really I like having my coffee table books open so you can kind of flick through them. And so I've got it open on what's his name, Mikhail Baryshnikov from Sex and City. I mean, he's like one of the best ballet dancers of the time, but specifically for
he's the Russian.
He's the Russian, exactly. And yeah, anyway, such lovely gifts.
Nice.
I'm going to steal that one and remember to buy books for other people.
Yeah, I got a coffee table book actually, and I got it. I was like, this is a great gift.
Lovely things, as you say. I would never buy myself a coffee table.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk recommendations. What did you watch? What did you read? What did you listen to? Georgina, I know you had something up your sleeve. What did you watch over the break?
Well, actually, I listened yesterday as I was beginning my pack for the move with my new headphones in, and I was there busy sorting through all the cupboards and drawers, and I listened to Elizabeth Day doing How to Pearl with Caitlin Moran, and it was recorded live on the 7th of December, so it's new, and it was absolutely brilliant. I've actually never heard her, apart from on maybe the odd panel show or something. I've never really heard her speak. I've read read her books, read her columns, but I'd never heard her talking, and she was just so honest. It was so funny, and then at times she started crying, which she said she'd never ever cried on a interview ever. She was talking about her daughter, and her daughter having 5 years of battling with eating disorders and mental health issues, and she just it was really moving, and she was incredibly informative. It was just such an incredibly impressive interview to listen to, so I really recommend it.
She's amazing, and I'm with you. I love her columns. I tried her book, and I think I tried it as an audio book. She has spoken a lot about how she grew up from in like a very working class background, and she had lots of siblings, and like that was all really interesting. And then I got to the point where she started speaking about tasting her own period blood, and I said, nope, not for me. We're done here. Thank you for the book. So I had to give up on the book. But she is brilliant and incredibly inspiring.
Well, she actually really touches on like how women have this pressure to like write for every woman, but actually that's impossible, and you should only write kind of your story and what you know, and some women are going to love it and some women are not, and there's different bits we'll get from it. And I think what's quite nice with her books is that she says she tries to put a sort of a topic per chapter, so whether it is her talking about her first period or masturbation or the first time she has sex or the first time she breaks up with someone or whatever it is. So if there's a topic you're kind of like, oh, that's not for me,
you can just skip it on.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Okay.
I really recommend it.
Thanks. I'll listen to that.
And then just the last couple of days I've started something called Mammals. It's on Prime with James Corden, and he's got a French wife, and it's got Sally Hawkins in playing his sister, and he's a chef. And he's just had his life imploded by discovering something about his wife. And there is 6 or 8 episodes. Each one's half an hour. The first one has Tom Jones in as a cameo as well.
I've seen a clip of it, yes.
It is exceptional.
Really?
It's very dark.
Quite unbearable. That's my only
Well,
thing.
if you don't mind James Corden, he's in every scene, so it's not for you. I actually don't mind James Corden.
I don't mind him. Yeah, I quite like him.
Yeah. It's a cream egg moment, really, isn't it? You know, you're either in it or you're not.
But it's good, and it's an interesting.
We share James Corden, we share hatred and cream eggs. There we go.
So much in common, guys. But it's worth a watch if you don't mind James Corden.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Great. Okay, good to know. Polly, anything to recommend?
Yeah, we watched The Banshees of Inisherin, which I know we've talked about in the podcast before, so I won't try not to too hard, but it was really good. Quite a like sad, interesting story. It's kind of one of those ones where I'm a bit like, what's the meaning by that? Is it a metaphor for something else? But I'm not sure that actually is. It's just a kind of sad, but
it's a kind of existential crisis thing, isn't it? Yeah.
But I enjoyed it, and it made me want to visit Ireland.
Okay. And it's been tipped for like all the awards, hasn't it?
So I think it's definitely one to add to your list. I also watched a documentary on Netflix it's called The Volcano, Rescue from Wakari, I think that's possibly how you pronounce it, but it's about a volcanic eruption that happened, I think 2018 or 2019, on an island off the coast of New Zealand, and some people were on the island when it happened, and a lot of people died and survived from it, and they interview some of the survivors about how it happened. They have footage from people's phones as it was happening, and I actually didn't really know that had happened, but it was obviously quite a major incident, major natural disaster, and yeah, quite kind of inspiring to hear from the survivors of that as well.
Presumably if you live in a town that has, or a city that has an active volcano in it, they have, like, do they kind of rehearse?
Well, so it's like no one lives on that island.
Right.
They just were running kind of guided tours to it.
Do you remember this actually?
So that was it. And there was people on the boat at the time.
Yes.
Yeah. So there were people on a boat who were okay because they were going around it, but then there were also people who were on it doing the kind of walk around.
Wow. And can it just erupt? Like, does it just like happen like that?
Well, yeah. I mean, the whole thing lasted 2 minutes.
Oh wow. So quick.
But it's just incredible to like hear that, because you kind of assume that, like, given the level of damage that people have, like, you know, these poor people with like burns and scars on them now from that, and you just think that was 2 minutes of, you know, an eruption. But they had some footage, or they kind of simulated it, of like when the eruption happens and everything just goes black. So you really can't breathe or see anything. One guy like jumped into the sea and just had to sit like in the water for 2 minutes, but actually that was like the smartest thing he could have done. But obviously loads of other people were nowhere near the sea and they couldn't do that. It's I won't spoil too much because it is quite harrowing. It's worth a watch.
Informative.
Yeah, informative, and yeah, makes you kind of, puts everything into perspective a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, really good.
Emma, anything to recommend?
The Teacher with Sheridan Smith.
Oh,
I don't know.
last night.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
it's good.
Yeah.
She kind of plays this teacher, and I think she's quite good at playing that role, kind of like, you know, she's got a bit of a drink problem and she's a bit like chaotic and her life's a bit of a mess. She goes out one night and then she kind of doesn't remember kind of what happens, but she has flashbacks of like seeing some of her students, and it all then gets a bit like, so then that unravels about what actually happened that night.
Okay.
So, and she gets in lots of trouble along the way.
I don't think it's a spoiler, because I feel like that was what I read before.
Yeah.
Basically, she gets accused of engaging in inappropriate behaviour with a student, and then obviously goes through that kind of
process.
and it's just all about her trying to work out whether she did or
it's
didn't
quite
do it.
kind of stressful to watch, though, isn't it? Like, because she can't remember, and she is a nice person, so you kind of know that she didn't do. Oh, I don't know, but it's definitely worth a watch.
I feel like we hear that story, or that story's been told so many times, like from the male perspective. It's interesting to hear that story told from a female perspective, getting involved with a male student. And, gosh. I watched none of the things that I was looking forward to watching. I was really excited. We were supposed to have several long train journeys, which ended up getting cancelled due to various strikes. So I didn't watch season 2 of Slow Horses, which I was really buzzing for, and I didn't watch season 2 of White Lotus either. So I've still got all my homework to do. I know.
Because you've got it to
I've got it to look forward to, and I feel like everybody who's seen it is very jealous.
I'm jealous that you've got so much White Lotus to watch.
Well, Ben and I watched the
Did
first
you watch
episode.
the first series?
No, I've watched the first episode of both seasons and just never carried on.
I feel like you don't need to
invest.
Yeah,
I think
it builds.
It definitely builds, but I think
builds.
you don't necessarily need to have watched the first season of White Lotus to enjoy.
Because a lot of people say the first season is rubbish.
Yeah, and the second
season
Well,
is
not rubbish.
I don't think it's so. I didn't love it, and I gave up. And then someone said, "You can't give up. You've got to finish it." So I did. And then my daughter was watching season 1, and when I watched, and then she watched season 2, and watching both of them kind of walking out the room, I just would sit down and start watching it again, because when you know how they end, which is so explosive, because not much happens, and then suddenly kind of in both of them, loads happens in the last episode. When you watch it with that knowledge, I just think you watch it in a completely different way. I think suddenly you're like, oh my God, it's so much more nuanced and subtle
that's
and
what I
clever.
like about it.
There's so many things like that. I actually made Ben watch Promising Young Woman because he hadn't seen it, and I was really. It's so good. Oh my God, it's so good, and it's such essential viewing for men as well.
Yeah.
This was the Carey Mulligan film from 2021 about. Written by Emerald Fennell, written, directed, and produced by Emerald Fennell. About a girl who basically goes out to nightclubs to entrap men who she pretends to be totally inebriated and completely gone and traps men who then try to take advantage of her like that. And there's a long background story behind it. Anyway, what is so clever about the film is that the ending is super dark. Like it goes horror film dark, and it's like a thriller. But there's a big chunk in the middle that kind of emulates or twists, or it kind of is a twist on traditional rom-coms. And we were telling friends that we'd seen it, and the friends were like, oh, we gave up, we thought it was so cheesy and so naff. And I was like, no, you have to keep going. You have to keep going, because you get to this point in the middle of it where you're just like, oh, it's just a shitty rom-com, and then it is something totally different. But I guess if you didn't, me too, but if you didn't know that, then you would just think,
because you do get to a point in the middle where you're like, oh wow, is it really taking this,
it's gonna end like this, is it? Okay.
And then the end is just like, oh
exactly.
my God, like it's such a like shock, isn't it?
Totally.
Incredible.
And it's almost Shutter Island-esque in that when you're watching, and this was the second time I saw it, and watching it through the lens of knowing what happens, you're like, you just read it so differently.
I might watch that again.
Yeah, do.
Since I watched that.
Had Matt seen it when you watched it?
Yeah, we watched
it
it together. Yeah, it's such a good film. One of the best films I watched that year, I think.
Such a good film. Yeah, we didn't sleep very well afterwards, but it
really,
yeah, it was. It's an afternoon watch.
Yeah, watch a bit of Schitt's Creek.
Yeah. But anyway, what I did do is go to the theatre twice. We went to see Jersey Boys last week, which I have seen before.
I've seen that before.
But I think I saw it like a very long time. I think I was about 17, and seeing it again now, I loved it so much more. And it is just the best show. The music's
incredible.
It's so good.
Puts you in such a good mood.
Literally such a good mood. We were just like bouncing out of the theatre. Like it was it's such a fun, feel good music. And I don't know about you, but like we never see a musical anymore, and it was just so it was really uplifting. It was really fun. And then last night I saw Paul Mescal in A Streetcar Named Desire at the Almeida Theatre.
Cool.
Which I think is mostly sold out, but keep your eyes peeled. So worth seeing if you can. Streetcar's one of my I think I did it for A-level, so I think for a lot of people it's like a story that people know quite well, and obviously so many people have seen the film, like the original film with Marlon Brando, and that's quite an iconic role, so interesting to see somebody take it on. And also obviously Paul Mescal has he was amazing. He's got a bit of a spotlight on him at the moment. He's obviously the roles that we've seen him play thus far have been quite kind of sensitive, soft men, and God, he played brutish and angry and violent incredibly well. If you hadn't seen Normal People, if you hadn't seen After Sun, you just saw this, you would in your head be typecasting him as an angry brute. Wow. You wouldn't even go there. He's obviously such a versatile actor. He was brilliant. The whole cast were brilliant. The lady who played Blanche was brilliant.
Yeah, who's the female lead?
So she's quite a serious actor. I kind of looked her up, and she's Olivier winning and something with Shakespeare, but not somebody I'd heard of. Yeah. And also the girl playing Stella as well was brilliant. The cast is brilliant. It's like a really stripped back ensemble type production. Like the cast are on stage at all times, and if they're not, they're just kind of hanging out alongside. I won't spoil too much. It's done in the round. It's just really, really clever, really slick, and he's brilliant in it. So
and is it modernised or is it set?
It's still the original script as much as I remember. It doesn't feel like there were any modifications, and it's modernised. There's a little bit of interpretive dance in there. There's a few kind of GCSE drama type moments, kind of like visual things, but those brief moments aside, those brief moments aside, it's relatively straight, or as straight as you can be, with a lot of kind of there's no set or anything like that. So but not modernised in in kind of language or anything like that. So really worth seeing if you can. Let's answer some questions. We've got a lot of questions to get through, everybody. I remember something I've seen on TikTok. I know, down with the kids. Is for a New Year's Eve show in the States, Miley Cyrus and Dolly Parton.
Oh my God.
Have you seen this?
It looks so good.
Oh my God. Why in the UK, like, no offence to Sam Ryder, but was that the best we could do in terms of New Year's Eve TV? Because Dolly Parton and Miley Cyrus is a touch more A-list.
Wrecking Ball together.
Oh my God, it's so good.
What was that on?
So it was on NBC or something. It was the American version of, I guess, but
Miley Cyrus's New Year's Eve party.
But I'm sure it's all over YouTube. She brought out loads of people. She sang with Sia, with Paris Hilton, whose song is having like a weird resurgence. Anyway, the Dolly Parton section with her is just so brilliant. It's if you can watch it.
Such an icon.
So not the same, but they did play on the radio. Was it yesterday or the day before? It was on New Year's Day. They were like, and at a hotel in Scotland in Braemar, Judi Dench and Charlene Spiteri
just
on
like
the piano singing
Oh, I can't remember what the song was now.
I mean, that's lovely.
But it was like...
it's really the sad British version, isn't it?
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's not the same.
I mean, they're both A-list, but it's
not the glam
A-list.
factor.
And when you heard it, it was like...
Yeah, like Judi Dench, bless her. A
Judi
true
Dench
icon.
on the piano, amazing.
Lovely, but perhaps not the strongest singer.
No.
I don't even remember what the song was. Anyway, it was quite funny. Just to contrast your
Not
Dolly
quite
and
the same.
Miley.
And also SheerLuxe, by the way.
Phenom.
Oh my God, just incredible.
It always looks
I think
amazing.
she's
Just
so fit.
I'm really, like so fit.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
nice.
She's always so toned
So
and
toned.
like
toned.
fit.
She looks so well.
Yeah.
Like so
So
like
well.
bronzed and fit. And,
All her little tattoos as well.
Yeah.
That's like Matt Inspo.
I
She
know.
looks so
Yeah, she's
cool.
really cool. She's so cool. Right. Questions. Somebody has said coping with January blues. First day back. How are you guys feeling? What's your tips for not feeling miserable in Jan? Anyone got any, or are we all just?
Okay, I've got one.
Go
I've
on,
got
Georgina.
one. I have, as I said, I was going to do my 30-day
Yes.
yoga with Adrienne. Anyway, I didn't manage it on day one.
Oh, right.
I was like, oh my God, I've got to pack up this house. So instead, I started this morning.
Okay.
I got up this morning and I was like, I'm just going to do a delayed day. And I'm just going to, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. Just come to the mat as you are, all of that. So I did.
Nice.
And I did. And I started the day and I was like, right, 29 to go.
So that's really interesting because the thing that I find depressing about January is the pressure to
Start.
be so well,
Yeah.
be so well, to quit. December's this like super fun, hedonistic, lazy,
Chaotic.
whatever.
Yeah.
month. And then I find the whole like, right, gotta eat well, gotta exercise, I find the pressure of that is the thing that makes me depressed.
Yeah.
So if it's two separate camps, so we're not agreeing on anything today. But
So-
then if you're in my, I feel like the answer is to just not
Take
worry
the pressure
about the
off a bit.
30-day things.
But
if that's your vibe.
But then you're coming at it with, oh my God, I've got to do this thing. And it's like taking something away from me. Whereas I would say this is adding something to. So,
Yeah,
so
totally
you
right.
can, you
Yeah,
can
so
still,
it's
I
your
mean, I can
mindset.
do yoga and go and eat a slice of chocolate cake after. Like it's
So
not,
true.
it's not a green juice moment
No,
every day.
and I suppose it's because I don't really like exercise. So for me, it's a chore. Including
Okay,
yoga.
but even yoga. I mean, we spent the first 5 minutes just sitting with our legs crossed doing a bit of breathing.
I can do that.
And she said, this is the longest one. It's 33 minutes. Of the 30, this is the longest one. So how fantastic to think
That's
I've
nice.
done the longest one.
That's really nice.
that
I'm
is
done.
nice.
It is
Yeah.
meant to be amazing, that 30
So I
days.
did it last year
Yeah.
and it was great.
Did you?
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, God, look, come on, there are some days you think, I just can't be asked to get the yoga mat out and do this. But then you turn it on and it's like day 17 and you go, oh my God, it's like, no, not 3 minutes, 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, who hasn't got 11
Yeah.
minutes?
Yeah. No, totally right.
But I think what is the secret to doing that's something good in January? I think it's just about doing something that's really small and that you can kind of easily build into your life rather than going, I'm going to go to a spin class for an hour every day.
And also the point is to try and do something that makes you feel good. So whether that's yoga or whether it's sitting on the sofa eating pizza, just do the thing that makes you feel good.
On the day you want to do it. Like,
exactly.
you know, if
Totally
you do the 30 days yoga, but it takes you 90 days to do it because you only do it every 3 days, who cares? That's true.
Yeah.
So true.
See, I'm quite extreme, so I need to do. So I've basically spent 2 weeks eating cheese and drinking red wine. So now I'm like, right, that's it.
You're the lot. Dry
Back
Jan.
on the peloton,
Yeah.
dry Jan, like. But at the same time, I will really enjoy it, so
Fine.
it won't feel like,
That's not
Yeah.
sure.
yeah,
Like you're getting something out
yeah,
of it rather
and
than
I'll
denying.
it'll feel amazing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. No,
it'll keep me kind of going back to do it.
yeah.
Watch out, 1st of Feb.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The wheels will come off.
She's back in town.
Back with the cheese and the wine.
Polly, what do you do to beat the January blues?
Well, I also quite enjoy like getting back into the gym, but I've hurt my back, so I think I'm gonna have to give that a bit of a rest for a week or so. But I think I always try to make like plans with friends throughout January, because I think again it can be really depressing because you've seen people so much in December and then no one wants to hang out in January and like no one wants to go for drinks. You're like, oh right, well this is a bit snooze. But I think like I try to like make plans with friends that don't involve drinking. Makes me sound like an alcoholic, but do you know what I mean? Like just doing,
course,
like hanging
yeah.
out, going for a coffee, going for a walk. Like it doesn't have to be like spending money necessarily, but I always feel like way happier obviously when you've had a bit of a laugh with your mates.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
Yeah.
just trying to prioritise doing that and not just hibernating like you might feel like doing in January. So yeah, I think I'll be doing that.
Nice. Good
Yeah.
one.
What about you?
Travel plans. It's got to be travel. It's got to be planning the
that is
year's
a good-
holidays.
Oh,
That's
really?
Oh yeah, that's the only.
That's a good
Oh,
one.
I'm so susceptible
Yeah.
to all these. I feel like January the 1st. Every advert on TV is about a holiday, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So yeah, it's just about planning planning
What's
out
on
the
your
year.
hit list then?
So we've booked flights. I hasten to add, we've already booked this once and then cancelled it and now booked it again. So let's see if it happens. But we've booked flights to Mexico City to do a long, well, it's not really a long weekend, to do 5 nights in Mexico City because it's been on my bucket list for a really long time. This year is about doing new things. Last year we travelled, we were back to normal travelling, which was so great, but we only went to one new place. So trying to just do a few new extras.
That's really good because you know, it is quite usual to go back to places
so
you
tempting.
know, and like,
but and then the worst. He keeps being like, "Oh, should we just go to?" No, come on, no.
So many places.
Exactly. So, and also there are loads of places I feel like you can do as family holidays. So we're trying at this stage in life to do things that we won't do with kids. So Mexico City, here we come. So that's my January blues antidote. Okay, what about small habit changes for 2023? Somebody has asked that. Aside from January blitzes, any other resolutions, any habits that you're looking to change or adopt? Anything?
I'm gonna try and drink more water. I say that every year, but I think I need to.
There was an article in the Times this morning about the people who are best. Did you see this? People who are best hydrated basically
live longer.
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's an incentive if ever you
exactly.
I think I need to get hold of one of those bottles. So my niece it was like top of her Christmas list was this bottle that creates flavoured water through scent alone.
Oh, I've seen those.
So
yeah.
it's not actually flavoured, but you put water in it, but because you're drinking it and you're smelling something at the same time, it tastes flavoured. Isn't that wild?
But I don't know how I mean, because it's obviously like some chemical or something.
Yeah, and surely if you wash it enough
all
time,
you're doing is smelling it. Like, I think maybe you might have to change it every now and again, but I think that's really clever because I find drinking water quite dull, and though that's why I don't do it enough. I just rather have a coffee or like.
It's hard when it's cold as well. I think on a cold day it's really hard to drink water.
Yeah, but I think I would maybe get on board with it if I felt like it was a bit more exciting. Like I like drinking squash and stuff, but maybe it's not as. I'm such a child.
No, I am with you on the squash. I love those little Robinson's drops.
That's so nice.
Yeah, like mid-afternoon.
Georgie likes those as well.
Especially if you think, I feel like I want something sweet, but I don't actually want to load up any calories.
I have a Diet Coke when I do that.
Yeah, so just a few little drops of Johnson's, whatever it's called. Juice drops? I don't know what they're called.
That in like an elderflower cordial. Like, do you think they do? Because I like having that at home, but like out and about.
Shove that with you.
I'm gonna shove that in my bag. It's quite annoying.
You could get like a makeup decanter, but for elderflower.
That would be quite wanky.
Bit extra.
You've got there. My elderflower cordial.
Maybe don't do that.
Oh god.
Okay, so you're gonna drink more water.
I'm gonna drink more water.
Nice. Yeah. Emma, anything?
Well, I was listening to a podcast yesterday actually with Tim Spector and Stephen Bartlett about gut health, and it just really made me think, not necessarily about like eating healthy or eating less, but like what I'm eating and whether it's like more or less calories. Like that's not really the goal. So I think I'm gonna think more along those lines with my diet in January, February going forward. I
always remember a gut health specialist that we interviewed saying that food can either be like medicine or poison.
Yeah.
And obviously that's extreme, but when you think of it in those terms, again, eating healthy is not about restrictions, it's about fueling your body correctly and treating your mind.
But he was saying like all the microbes in your gut is basically like another organ in your body. Like it's as important and as... you just really need to nurture it.
It controls your whole immune system, doesn't it? So
it's crazy. So I want to do more reading on that and kind of get into that.
Nice. Georgina?
No.
What about you, Sean?
Just the yoga.
Anything, just the yoga.
Water. That would probably be it.
Nice. We just go through funks of like delivery phases. So no, like I'm just gonna not order food as much and go a little bit like what Emma's saying. But yeah, get back to cooking, and that's a December versus January like inevitability, isn't it? But yeah, looking forward to doing some cooking, and I hate getting a takeaway just because you don't have food in the fridge. Like I love a takeaway if it's because it's Friday and it's a treat, or and you're looking forward to it, whatever. But a takeaway just because you need to eat, it's just like the worst thing. You feel awful about yourself, and it's expensive. And
you should try Mindful Chef. We get Mindful Chef, and like it's so good.
Is it good? So I think Mindful Chef might be better. We tried another delivery service, and quite like a really mainstream one, and we found it. We would rather buy good fresh ingredients. Like it came and it was like there was a lot of plastic, and actually
there is a lot of plastic.
Yeah, it felt a bit like getting a kind of Sainsbury's ready meal almost by the time we put it all together. So maybe Mindful Chef is better because it's a bit more healthy.
Really like it. Again, really very much not an ad at all. Like, we've been getting it for maybe a year, and it's just so convenient because obviously you get home and you're just like, well, I know what I'm having for dinner tonight. And we again had tried another food delivery service and actually didn't find that it was that healthy, and probably the same reasons as you, but this one, like, all the ingredients are kind of like locally sourced, like ethically sourced as well. Feels like you get the cooking element, and it's all incredibly tasty as well, which is like such a important part of it, and means we get to try different things that we wouldn't usually.
And are they quite quick? Because once I tried a service where it was like the recipes were kind of 40 minutes.
Oh no, yeah.
And they're like, it's way too long.
You want them for after work.
They're like
20 minutes,
15 to 30 minutes, I would say. But yeah, like if you are people that are, oh god, we've got nothing in the fridge, like it's just so good. We get it like 3 nights a week.
Yeah, that's all we need.
Because like we're probably out one night. Friday we'll probably get something like a treat. But genuinely, like, I couldn't recommend it more. I love it.
Okay, that's a really good tip.
Yeah,
thanks. Maybe we'll do that. Someone has said, I like this question. My partner doesn't have as much self-discipline as me. How do I change that? I saw Ben and I were in Waitrose yesterday, and there was a birthday card being like, happy birthday, husband, you're nearly the man that I've been trying to make you. Sounds about right. How do you encourage your partner to have better...
I think this is really hard.
That is a hard one.
Someone asked me a similar question recently where they were like, oh, I've started dating someone that I really like, but he has terrible style. How do I like change that? Or like, is it a deal breaker? And I was like, no, I don't think it should be a deal breaker for you, but there's ways to like encourage your partner to, if that really is something that is important to you. I think you can't be telling them what to do, but you can kind of like gently encourage them in the right direction. I think it's all about making them think like it's their idea.
And I do remember having bin bags at my husband's wardrobe quite early on. Just like
chucking it out.
Yeah, that's going to charity.
I think it depends how sensitive they are as well.
Yeah.
Like whether your partner is male or female. Like some people, like mine doesn't really take feedback all that well,
right?
So it would have to be, as you say, quite carefully manipulated. Instead, it's quite difficult to, I've got some male friends who their wives can just say anything to them,
and they'll do it.
But I don't, whatever. But I don't have one of those, so I think you have to try quite carefully if you have got somebody in your life who's a bit more sensitive as well. But also maybe that I always remember Dolly Alderton answering in her style agony aunt column, talking about something similar, whatever that person's habits were, and basically saying you need to analyse whether that person might be happy. So just because you don't like it, they might be really like self-disciplined. Like maybe they're happy eating 5 biscuits a day, and then do you remember? It was really good.
Like,
I thought
he eats really badly.
Yes,
and
she was super into fitness.
Yeah,
but if he's happy,
that's sort of like your problem, not theirs.
Then it's just not a match.
Totally. Well, exactly. You're just with the wrong person.
Yeah.
Or you need to just.
It depends on like what discipline they mean, really. Is it discipline in relation to like diet and fitness, or like work, or whatever? But yeah, I guess assessing whether that actually impacts your relationship.
Yeah.
Like to a point where you think that you can live with it long term. Got quite deep, didn't it?
Any thoughts?
Well, I think if someone's really triggering you that much, I would go with Polly in that idea that it's really, well, Dolly rather, that maybe it's saying a little bit more about you than them if they're happy. But also if it's really that much of an issue, maybe it's not the right relationship.
I think so too. Okay, final question. Somebody has said something you'll be investing in this year. We talked before Christmas about investing in our health, investing in being more charitable. So all of those wider things aside, let's be superficial for a minute, okay? Let's be materialistic. What are you investing in for 2023? What's on your wish lists for 2023? Polly?
Okay, I am genuinely going to try to spend less money on clothes, but if someone's asking, there's a really amazing LVIR. It's actually faux shearling, but it looks really convincing and really soft. So I've seen it on Net-a-Porter, and it's like a beautiful kind of beigey colour. It's belted. It looks quite nicely oversized. And I saw Lisa Pintaud wearing it. Because I was a bit like, I wonder what it's like in real life, but it looked really good on her as well. And yeah,
quite tempted.
Okay. Yeah.
You're also investing in a bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, I have said to myself, spend less money on clothes, buy more stuff for the house that we actually need instead. So yeah, getting a new bathroom, and I'm very excited about that. I have to say, I've wanted to do that since we moved in like 4 years ago. So
I would ask you what it looks like, but I'm sure we'll see before and after pictures.
oh yeah,
I'll
be documenting. Don't worry.
Georgina, what are you investing in this year?
I think I will be investing in some really good skincare. I kind of feel like at a certain age, you just got to really nail it.
Well, I think all ages is important. Isn't
all
it?
ages is important, but if you're kind of fighting the anti-aging, then it's time. So I've kind of dabbled between different brands, some more medical, some with really super active ingredients, some that are just a bit more kind of pampering. So I think I would quite like to kind of sit down properly and work out what I need, and know that it probably come with quite a hefty price tag, annoyingly, but
Always the way,
it's always the way.
And
so,
I went into just before Christmas, like a few days before, I went into a London boutique for a skincare brand, and I was picking up one thing, and it was already it was £55. It was for my husband. It was like this big, and the lady ahead of me spent £650. And I was just like, oh my god! She just like handed a card over, and I was like, oh my god, it's so much money on skincare.
Oh my
I mean, I assume she was buying Christmas presents, but like, God, skincare can rack up.
It
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah, and that's why I think you really do need to do your research.
Totally
And
right.
I think I know now what my skin's really, it can tolerate high percentages of active ingredients
Which
like
is great,
retinol and stuff like that. So I can definitely go for it, but I just want to make sure I'm using the right brands.
Yeah.
And it's tough because it is a bit of trial and error for a while.
Yeah, and that's an expensive
That's
trial and error.
why samples are so important.
Yeah, and I think going to kind of the right clinician or dermatologist and just kind of and then sticking with it, like it's, you know, you've got to probably see
and
at least
having,
6-9
regular
months.
facials, which I mean, it's so expensive.
I had a massage over Christmas, and she was like, "Oh, you must be." You know, I was like, "Trust me." It, like an hour on my back. She was like, at the beginning, she was like, "Well, are you sure?" I was like, "Trust me." And at the end, she was like, "You know, you must get regular massages." And I was like, "Yes, no, I know." I'm like, that would be so nice.
They
wouldn't
always
it? Wouldn't
say
that be
that.
lovely? I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Think of it as investing in your health. I'm like, I know, but I need dental work too.
Yeah.
I know. It's really unfortunate. Emma, what will you be investing in?
This is really boring, but I just need some really good like luggage and like weekend away bags, because we went to Norfolk for New Year, and I was packing up the house and everything was just in like random bags, and I just need really good big weekend bags and like good travel suitcases.
Yeah.
Get a good
suitcase.
There's nothing worse than traveling and having 9 bags. Like you just feel so like, hot and stressed and disorganized. Have you got your eye on any?
No, I haven't actually. I haven't even started to look, but I will. That's on my to-do list.
Maybe there's a feature in that.
Yeah,
as well.
maybe.
Maybe. Charlotte, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm the same as you. When I say my house, everyone's always like, "Oh, your house is so finished." I'm like, it's so empty. We need so much furniture. So it's a year for the house. I'm focusing on trying to fill it a little bit more. However, there's this jacket. There's this Isabel Marant jacket on Net-a-Porter as well, which is it's pink tweed. And it's like quite a classic kind of, you know, French style round like no collarless, round neck, but it's like it's really oversized. I mean, obviously it's really oversized.
Really, you?
I know. It is like it's the perfect jacket, and they
Is it
style it.
belted?
No, it's just like it's like a Chanel style jacket, but just a bit boxier, and they've got it in. They've styled it with like really baggy white jeans and like classic like black Isabel boots, and it's just so.
It's always the styling on there. That,
It's
like,
the
cinches
styling.
it.
Yeah. I'm like, damn it.
I need that.
So it's really playing on my mind, but the price of that is like, I don't know, 2 armchairs. So
why is it so hard? I don't know if you're the same. Maybe Georgina, you're different, but like, I like find it so easy to be like, right, I definitely need that jacket. Take my money. But if it's like a lamp for like £50, I'm like, and then I never end up buying anything.
I tell you what, I think buying things for the house feels like a bigger commitment. So
That's what I
you
was
can
gonna
buy.
say.
If you
and
buy
you've got to look at it,
Yes.
and you can't really. Although you can sort of style home accessories, at the end of the day,
you're stuck with it.
the lamp's the lamp.
Yes.
Whatever table you put it on.
And if you buy a jacket, you can always buy another jacket and then another jacket and another
Yeah.
jacket. Whereas if you like, but I mean, when you buy a chair, that's like, well, that's fucking
Yeah,
it.
that's
It's the
really.
chair.
Yeah, you're not going to move
No,
your chair.
and that's very stressful.
Yeah.
That
So
makes
I'm
me
the
feel
same.
better actually, because I'm just a bit like, am I a weirdo? I need to just
No,
I think
dithering.
even and the fact whether it's 50 quid or 500 quid, the lamp's the lamp, and then
The
it's
lamp's
like
the lamp.
everyone's going to see it when they come in,
Yeah.
and you know, where's your
What a
jacket?
push.
You can
I
change
know.
it.
I have spent a year dithering on placemats and napkins, and I finally committed, which I'm really happy about.
Which ones?
So I bought some napkins from Les Ottomans via Matches, which I'm excited. napkins can be so expensive.
Yeah,
actually.
so
Really
and placemats.
Both of them. Like, it's not a cheap investment. Anyway, these were actually a really good price. I think it was like £60 for 6 or something, and they're cotton ones. They're really lovely.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're really nice. Well, they might be horrible. They haven't arrived yet, but I'm hoping they're nice. And then I got placemats from a brand called Baloo London, which is I love. Oh my god, they're available on Glassette. I had found them via an influencer in America, and then
but we've had them on.
No, I'm sure we have, but there was a particular colourway that I like because they're very colourful, but I need like an earthy version of colourful.
Did you get the kind of flower ones?
No, they're round, and then they kind of look like warped flowers kind of within them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, big commitments all round, guys. All right, I think we'll leave it there. Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year back. If you have any feedback at all, please do email podcast@SheerLuxe.com. We love hearing from you. Don't forget to look out for our question box on social every week. And please do also rate, review, subscribe, and tell your friends. See you next time. Bye-bye.